And hello and welcome everyone live from society. It's the comic multiverse, everyone. The show that comes from a society, that goes out to a society. Our fan community is really a society unto itself. It's all society, Matt, and it's our special Valentine's Day episode, I guess.
What better way to spend Society's Day with?
Yep.
This is a Society Day, not Valentine's Day.
It is now. We're changing it. We're changing the rules, everybody. You could have been anywhere else in the world tonight. You could have been having romantic rendezvous, but instead you were listening to us. Who am I kidding? It's a fucking pandemic. No one's going anywhere. What a big fucking wet fart of a thing there, where it's like, hey, at least we all have an excuse this year, everyone, for not going out and not doing anything. I've been trying to keep busy, though. I actually got, like, a bunch of movies all saved up that I plan to watch. I watched that Kid Detective movie the other night after Red Letter Media recommended it.
Oh, really? I still haven't seen that one.
It's good. It's good. And it's super, super Canadian and filmed in Ontario. And as with everything that's filmed in Ontario, I hit my head against the wall trying to figure out where the fuck it was filmed because it looks familiar.
Don't you hate that when you're like sure it's filmed in like a place you've been or your city or something? You're like, I know that street. Where is that street located? I've done that hundreds of times.
And because it's a small-time indie film, there's not much IMDb information on it. So unless I actually just write Adam Brody and be like, hey, man. Also, thank you, Shawnell, for the subscription. Always appreciate it.
Thank you.
I got that movie. I got Judas and the Black Messiah that I'm sitting on that I still need to watch. And I got a new, I think it's on Amazon somewhere, an Irish docu-series about bare-knuckle boxing, which has become quite a genre unto of itself. So, gotta see some of that.
Lovely.
Oh, yeah, I love some of that. It's interesting to see it now, because I don't know if you realize, but there's like a whole bare-knuckle boxing federation now. Like, it's gone from fringe sport to actually, like, more respected fringe sport.
Oh, really? Because I remember I like years ago I'd watched documentaries about that, and I watched like a bunch on like the Pikeys,
yes,
bare-knuckle boxing and stuff like that.
Knuckle was that movie from 2013.
I think that was what it was called, yeah.
Very fascinating movie. A guy, he goes to film a traveler wedding and spends like the next 5 years filming old guys punch each other.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting documentary. But yeah, there's a whole like federation now. In fact, Mike Tyson, before he did that last fight that he did, he was supposed to have a bare knuckle fight, but then Corona happened and they just turned into a regular boxing match. Bare knuckle fights are interesting because they actually go on a little longer than you would think, because it's both guys trying to pick their shot, because they know if they land it just right, most fights can end in a knockout.
Yeah.
And they get torn up both like in the knuckle and in the face, because that little bit of like padding protection isn't there anymore.
Yeah, so both fighters get hurt. Even if the one wins, he's still very hurt.
Yeah, even if they, like, because, again, like, most boxing matches suck now because both guys, like, oh, gotta play defensively, gotta do the thing. Well, here's the thing. If I keep punching you in the forearm over and over again, eventually your forearm is gonna break or my hand is gonna break. So, like, it's both slow and methodical, but also they want to get it done in just, like, a couple rounds.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting stuff. So, yeah, there's everything you never wanted to know about bare-knuckle boxing, everybody. What about you, Matt? What have you been up to?
Not a lot. I watched a couple of movies. I watched that new Wrong Turn movie.
Oh yeah, you were
like
talking about that.
And it's not too bad. It's not like the other films how the Wrong Turn people are like mutant inbreds,
right?
Who are just killing people. It's actually it's kind of that trope was like maybe we're the real monsters sort of thing. But then also like the hill people are actually quite terrible as well,
but they're also monsters. That's interesting, because I had a pitch very similar to that if they ever did Texas Chainsaw again, where it should be like a Vice documentary crew that goes out there to make like poverty tourism in like modern 2020 and be like, oh no, they're actual mutants. But yeah, that's like what, the third or fourth time they've rebooted that now, Wrong Turn?
I don't know. I know. I've only seen the first two films. I didn't realize that there was like a whole series. And they just get like much worse and worse and worse. But I think this is like the first actual like reboot.
Right. Wasn't like Hilary Duff's sister in one of them?
I think so. I know Henry Rollins was in one of them.
Oh. there you go.
Yeah, the first one was I think the only one that got released in cinemas.
Right, of course. Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds interesting.
Mm.
Oh, I found an interesting piece of information this week that you would probably dig. The new person they got coming on to write Champions when this whole outlawed thing is done. Yeah, I know it's still going on. They're super big into Gundam, and I'm following them on Twitter now, and it's just all the new Gundams they're building and everything. I'm like, well, shit, maybe this will be enough to get Matt to pick up Champions if there's like just a little bit more Gundams involved.
If the team all get their own Gundams, then yes.
Man, you should pitch that one where it's like, look, now it's a mech anime. It's what it is now. Miles and Kamala and everyone else, they get big
maybe that will
robots.
finally make the team actually stick.
Yeah, maybe the writing team will stick around. But hey, as we mentioned last week, Zub actually gets to come back and write the Heroes Reborn stuff, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty good. So yeah, we got a not too small smattering of news for you this week, everyone, to go through. I'm sure it'll lead to some pretty decent conversation. Then we can talk about what we read this week. How was your reading for this week, Matt? I know in weeks past it's been difficult to keep up with all this stuff.
It was a little difficult. I'm kind of backloading all my stuff because like in the next couple of days there's going to be a heap of videos out just because I got a little bit busy at the end of the last week. But yeah, I read a decent amount this week.
Right, I read 7 books as I sit and look at it now, and I'm sure we read a lot of the same. And yeah, a lot more Future State books coming to an end this week because again, a lot of those were only 2 as we discovered.
Yeah, well, Future State ends next week.
I know, hard to believe, man. When they said 2 months, they really meant 2 months. Yeah. So yeah, I guess with that, before we hop into the news this week, we're going to do what we always do here at the Comic Multiverse. You know it. I love it. I assume everyone else loves it too. We got to pay some bills, Matt. And because, it is Valentine's Day, the season of love, the season of closeness, the season of intimacy. Again, I want to tell everyone about our brand new friends over at Manscaped. They're helping pay the bills here at the Comic Multiverse. They're helping keep the lights on, and they're helping everyone stay smooth and good. Not just for yourself. Maybe you let yourself go. It's the quarantine. I get it. You got a pubic mop going on. But with this brand new space-age ceramic blade, you can take care of yourself. You can look good, not just for yourself, but for your partner too, especially on a day like today. That's the gift right there, is what that is. And if you use the brand new promo code Joel20 at checkout, not only will you get free shipping, but you will get 20% off your first order of not just the razor products themselves, which are great, but all the other stuff they have. They got ball deodorant, they got anti-sweat, anti-chafe underwear, they got shirts, they got just about everything. They got stuff for your feet now. Basically everything below the waist is what they got.
They got some really good stuff there. Like tools are really good. Like I got like a it's like a kit with like clippers and like nail files and stuff in it, and it's really good quality.
Amazing carrying cases. I take it everywhere with me on all my trips, or I did in the before time in the long ago. Back when we could travel, and again, it's one of the nicest, most adult things I own, and you can get that yourself, and you can get a great deal on it. You'll be getting something, you'll be helping us out too, because by using that code, you're telling a company that, hey, Joel and Matt are good YouTube men who take care of the balls good style, and you should give them more money in the future. So I am once again asking, take care of your balls, take care of all the hair that you got down there, and help me and Matt make more podcasts.
Yeah, do you want to live in a society where people don't shave their balls?
Is that even a society? That's the opposite. Yeah, my nuts, your nuts for you. Exactly. Here at the Comic Multiverse, we're nuts for nuts. Yeah, be sure to shout for the glory of Joel's ball sack. Exactly. This is the energy. This is the brand we got going into 2021, Matt. Craft soda, ball raisers. That's what we're all about in the year 2021. It's our brand. And I mean, I just couldn't be happier about it. If someone said, hey, Joel, how would you feel at 28 as a young entrepreneur? This is how I feel. So go check that out, everyone. That code again is CapeJoel20. Honestly, I'm just glad that friggin' Manscaped wanted to work with us just so I can again test the YouTube content filter every week. And how long can I talk about balls before I get in trouble when they take my money away?
How long before we're demonetized?
How long? So far, so good. We will play this game of Russian roulette next week. And with that, we can actually head on over to our first story this week now that the bills have been sufficiently paid. And that news is, man, they've been talking about it. They've been hint dropping about it. They really, honestly, kind of dragged it out, if you ask me. But we finally got the first real deal trailer for Zack Snyder's The Justice League, the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour cut, the Society Cut, coming. Did it even say when it was coming, or was this just the trailer?
March sometime. I don't know.
March sometime. Yeah, it'll, as with everything, release dates don't mean anything anymore in quarantine. When it fucking shows up, it'll be on the goddamn internet. It'll be on my goddamn streaming device. I'll watch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Does it really matter? But yes, we finally saw the trailer that they'd been, kind of stringing us along about. A lot of it looks familiar. Okay, March 18th, and some are saying March 19th. No one can say for sure. But yeah, lots of stuff we had seen before, but also a fair amount of new stuff. Not so much that I think it makes the movie look completely different, like everyone kind of seems to think it is.
That's what I don't get about this trailer. Like 90% of it is shit that we'd seen in the theatrical cut. There is shots that were in the theatrical cut. The only difference here is they have a different color filter on it, basically.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be more of it, apparently.
Yeah, and Batman's going to hand dong and say fuck.
Yeah, she sure as shit he is. Yeah, we see Steppenwolf, wreck all of the Amazons and then be like, oh, Darkseid, I failed. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's the end of hour one. I guess hour one of the movie is just going to be a truncated version of the movie we already saw.
I guess.
And then we see Superman in the black suit and also Darkseid, and I think that's supposed to be Granny Goodness, so the Snyder Cut of Justice League is both the original movie and what seems to be a sequel for itself at the same time, if it's going to be 4 hours.
All of it just shoved into one film.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey. He got to do it his way, and they gave him all that money to do it because the fans demanded it. In fact, they really demanded it, almost at gunpoint, to which Snyder had no problem with that.
Yeah, no, he goaded them on.
Yeah, he basically said in an interview, I know he didn't talk about this, but he's like, yeah, I thought that terror campaign that they all waged was super awesome, not letting anyone talk about anything else and hijacking every other creative artistic conversation for me.
Yeah, pretty rad is how I think he put it, which is just the most Snyder, of course he uses the word rad.
How old are you, sir? It was pretty rad. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, the big thing, of course, the only thing anyone can talk about is that final scene where we see Jared Leto's Joker back again in this, even though didn't he basically tell them all to screw off and kiss off after Suicide Squad? But I guess he's back for this now because Snyder trumps everything else, I suppose, even an actor who told them to eat it. He's here. He doesn't have his stupid face tattoo, so you know what? Credit where credit is due. The Snyder Cut made one thing slightly less stupid.
Yeah, but they gave him fruit punch lips.
He's got the he looks like the Crow. He looks like a bad Crow cosplay.
Looks like the Crow and Marilyn Manson.
Little bit. Ooh, man, Marilyn Manson these days. Yeah, persona non grata. I like, too, the outfit they've given him, because obviously, you got trenchcoat Batman of the dark side apocalypse and everything, where everything is dark and foreboding. So naturally, Joker needs a similar makeover. He looks like Joshua Graham now from New Vegas, because he's got his mental asylum robes and a SWAT vest over it. I'm like, did someone in costume play New Vegas? Because I get a big whack of New Vegas off this.
That's just shit they had lying around because this is obviously a reshoot, a recent reshoot. So it's just shit they had lying around in the green screen room.
So I guess the weird dark future thing is also going to play in this as well, because that was something that was brought up in Batman v Superman and then never ever mentioned again.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't really hear anyone talking about is that that whole thing the whole thing is predicated on Batman having some nightmares. Some possibly drug-fueled nightmares, and he just immediately buys into the
instantly
as Batman in the comics, the famed detective who doesn't believe in magic or aliens or anything would just immediately buy into this, Yeah.
I mean, really, what else is there to talk about in that? The trailer was just basically hey, here's all the shit that people were talking about forever. Black suit, more dark side, more nightmare future.
Yeah, all bathed in a really horrible orange blob of a light.
Hey, but at least there wasn't a cover song.
Yeah, that's what really surprised me about that. It's like, when's some Leonard Cohen song gonna kick in? When's some depressing Leonard Cohen song gonna kick in?
For real, I mean, come on, is it really a Snyder project if you didn't dig up the corpse of Leonard Cohen and drag him around the block a couple times? I guess there's a bigger bat tank, that's something.
Yeah. Why does Batman need a tank? I've never liked Batman with a tank. Again, that just shows like Snyder's only read one comic, and that's Dark Knight Returns.
Which makes me think, why does this guy even want to work with the New Gods when all he cares about is, extreme explosions, the color black, the color gray? So let's take like a bunch of colorful Kirby creations and, drag them through a hot topic.
Yeah, just suck all the life out of them and all the things that made them unique and special.
Again, it's like, Zach, I don't think you get it. Again, why are you trying to fix what is not broken, Zach?
Because it's got to be cool.
I guess so. Cool for me and 5 other people. Yeah. Also, thank you, Mr. Pattison 30. Appreciated. 7th month longer than my relationship in the convo. Aw. Well, we appreciate it, sir. Either way. But, of course, the line of the trailer, the thing that everyone can't stop talking about, and the thing that I am 100% certain was put in there, maybe if only so people will talk about it. In fact, if it actually ends up being in the movie, I'll eat my hat, but that is the Joker saying the words that will live in infamy: we live in a society.
That absolutely was put in there serious. Like I am not convinced that I believe that Snyder thinks that is like some deep and meaningful, like that whole line, live in a society where, I know, honor is a memory or something.
Or some dumb shit.
I 100% believes he thinks that's some deep and meaningful line.
Again, I want to take Zach aside. I'm like, Zach, you know the Joker never actually said that in any movie or anything. It was a meme from an episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza, the fat loser who's always complaining about everything, said in the Chinese restaurant, we live in a society here, because he was, being slightly, annoyed in this situation. And, people took that whiny character and imposed that on the last Joker movie, because a lot of what he said also just sounded like some asshole complaining about stuff. So that Joker became we live in a society Joker. Also gamer Joker, which is another thing. Yeah. These things intertwine and mutate and evolve as memes do. It was a joke. A joke of a joke, actually. But you thought it was serious, and you actually put it in the movie. And also, because it's a meme from like a couple of years ago, it feels fucking ancient now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, when all of this was probably written and made, it was probably at its height.
How many more old memes can the Joker spout off? Can I has cheeseburger? I'm in your base killing your dudes.
Oh, don't give him ideas.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's his new take on Joker. He only speaks in memes.
Oh, no.
Here come that boy. Shit, what up?
Oh, no. That means Jared Leto will start doing that in real life.
You like Mudkips? Again, too, I need to know this. Was this Jared Leto post or pre Cult Sex Island?
I'm pretty sure it was like during.
Really? So this was during.
I think so. I'm not sure when like that stuff was filmed, because I think they just got them all on like a green screen for like a weekend to like film bits probably. And stuff.
The chat has some good one there. My mom is gonna freak. Yeah, I like that. And Harley brought me some. Harley brought me some chicken nuggets, and I smacked them out of her hand. Because how could any of this happen? Jesus Christ, as I think of more terrible music. It's the Joker and Batman walking the post-apocalypse. Hey, you seen that Rick and Morty show? Man turned himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Hashtag the Joker. God damn it. Everything about that just makes me go like, really, everyone, this is what you fought day and night for, because you thought that it had such like, artistic merit attached to it. This is the thing, ancient ass memes.
Oh man.
Unironic ancient memes.
That's the thing, it's unironic. Oh my god. If it was put in there as like an ironic joke or something, it'd still be very heavy-handed because it's Zack Snyder, but like at least it would be an attempt at something funny.
This coming from the same man who just the day previous was like, there's not going to be many jokes in the Snyder Cut. I don't know, man, because that's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Turns himself into a pickle.
Has he gone on Vero to ask why people are laughing at that yet?
Probably. I wouldn't know. I'm not on Vero and I ain't on Clubhouse either. That's the big hot new thing now, Clubhouse. Everyone's going on. I'm like, do I need to be on that? Is that the hot new
I won't go
social
on any
media?
new one because I guarantee you some, I don't know, right-wingers will take it over and it'll become the next Parler or something.
Of course. Yeah, really. Or it's like, is some, Russian national stealing my credit card information right now? Probably.
Joke's on him. I don't have any credit.
Yeah, good. Yeah, take that, Vladimir. Take that. That'll teach you one. Fuck. So yeah, there's your Snyder Cut news, everyone. It's hard to talk about a trailer for a movie we've kind of already seen.
Yeah. Especially when that trailer contained many of the scenes we have already seen.
We've already seen.
Slightly different colored.
Yeah. Oh, the chat hasn't heard about what Clubhouse is. Clubhouse is basically like Twitter with audio, from what I understand. You can start rooms and basically talk to people. So I'm like, oh, so all the awkwardness of conversation that I hate from real life with strangers, but you've now brought to the internet. Cool.
It's just
cool.
Discord, but in your browser.
Yeah, like what if Discord and Twitter had a horrible monster baby? But celebrities really like it. For some reason.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
They got probably paid to say they like it.
I mean, probably. I heard about it because Tiffany Haddish was on it, and apparently there was like a whole, comedian feud going on there. And I'm like, oh, great, another place for drama and flame wars. Cool. I definitely need that in my life. Yeah. So yeah, be sure to keep your eyes peeled to the comic multiverse. I'm sure Matt and I will talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut, the cut of Society movie when it comes out.
The Society Cut when it comes out in March.
In March. Now, the question is, Matt, are we going to be getting our big boy Justice League Happy Meals to go along with this as well?
Yeah, our total adult Justice League Happy Meal that costs $130.
Because this is a refined movie for adults. We're sending you a refined box of food partnering with this box company. Yes, so you too can pair this cinematic achievement with a Big Belly burger and Jitters coffee and, all these things from the comic.
Yeah, that for some reason are never in the movies because they're too embarrassing to be in the movies.
No, too embarrassing. I don't know, maybe they are in this version. I don't fucking know. Maybe that's just what they put back, all the fake food.
that's what all this. We shot all this stuff, new stuff, and it's all about product placement. Is Turkish Airlines going to be in this?
Yes, really. Well, you see, Turkish Airlines will deliver your adult Justice League Cut Happy Meal Snyder Society. The Society Meal. I joke about that, but you heard this. What is it? A bunch of people scalping Happy Meals because they got rare Pokemon cards.
They got
the
Pokemon cards in it. Yep.
I heard that, and I'm like, I just started my keto diet, but maybe it's time for some McDonald's. I didn't. I used self-respect and self-restraint, but just thinking, gotta get on that. Man, between that and friggin' PlayStation 5s, which I looked into PlayStation 5, still can't fucking buy those worth shit, because they're still scalped and gone everywhere.
Yeah, I can... Yeah, I see people still doing the whole thing where, like, they've got alerts set up for, like, when they come in at, like, Best Buy or something, and they just immediately get sold out because, I guess, bots are buying them.
Yeah, but then again, it's like, if I'm not playing that new Spider-Man, what am I playing? And I also, like, kind of dreaded getting a new PlayStation because I'd have to move the 4 out, which is the center of my media room right now, so I'd have to change all that shit over, and it's like, ugh. Why even bother? Yeah, Switch Boys. Hey, I'm excited for that new Persona game coming out. I'm all about that.
I'm excited for that new Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah, there's a new Monster Hunter back. All right, so what's our next story we got going on here? Ooh, so the first crossover for DC's Infinite Frontier has been announced.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
It has, and it's going to surprise you. It's going to be a Suicide Squad Titans Academy crossover.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited about. That Suicide Squad book just continues to look more and more interesting to me, especially because Connor is going to be on the Suicide Squad now.
Yeah, and just like that first issue that we got was just like had some really great twists in it, and took the story in a different way than I thought it was going to go.
I'm very excited to see what the Suicide Squad writer has in store for Connor. And also, too, he's dropped the whole Metropolis Kid get up, and he's just back to being classic Connor with the shirt that we remember.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me. And again, too, Red X is going to be a major focal point of this crazy crossover they're doing. Red X, who had a big part in the Future State Titans finale this week, but never found out his secret identity. That's still a mystery.
I still think it's Roy Harper.
Interesting.
Just because he's not in that H-dial where he summons all the spirits. There's no Roy Harper in that.
Do we see his grave, though? I know we keep seeing his grave.
Oh, that don't mean shit.
No, true enough. I mean, how many did they die and go right back? But yeah, I'm on board for this Robbie Thomas thing, and interesting that this is going to be the first crossover. I would not expect them to go with Suicide Squad Titans, but then again, there's a Suicide Squad movie coming out and a new season of the Titans TV show coming down the pipeline, so maybe so.
And remember, they did this at the start of Rebirth with Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
They did, and that ended up being really, really good.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, so I have nothing but high hopes for this. They're doing it fairly early, too. It's like issue 3 of both of these series is actually going to be a bit of a crossover.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I mean, I was going to pick up both of these books anyway, but here's hoping if you were going to pick up one or the other that it might be enough to actually get you to pick up both books.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this Titans Academy era. I think it's a good direction. Definitely something that's going to make me want to pick it up.
I'm glad someone else said that, because all I ever see people talking about this Titans Academy book is just saying how crap it is. I'm like, we read the same comic as me? It was really damn good.
Also, did you read that last Glass run?
Yeah, compared to that.
That basically didn't have any Titans character in it, and they were all psychotic murderers. At least here, it's like, hey, here's the characters you like, trying to do good and, like, trying to build, like, you know, the next generation of young heroes. I mean, it's an easy direction, but it's a direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that for you. What else we got there? Milestone is going to be relaunching again in February, and then also again in May. Some of you are saying, wait, didn't they already come out with this issue, Milestone Return Zero? Yeah, they did, back in September. And then the virus happened, and then nothing happened.
Yeah, so this issue is getting re-released with, I think, like 20-odd something more pages.
Yeah, 24 new pages. Yeah, expanding the story, 24 new pages of content. They showed off some new art, which is interesting. So Static has a new costume that is different than the one he had in this. I remember a lot of people not liking that costume. They thought there was too many dark color tones. They missed the bright blue, which is interesting because he has the blue on this cover, but he doesn't have it in the book, and it looks like he's getting a new one anyway. But, you know, we didn't come up with this on the fly or anything. Honestly, the new suit looks really good, and they also showed off, his antagonist there, Francis Stone, Hotspot.
Yeah, he looked cool as well.
Or Hot Streak. He did look cool. Yeah. Hot Streak, which is funny because he never dressed well, is the funny thing in either the Milestone comic or the cartoon. So now he's like a streetwear fashionista. He's got like those jogger pants and everything, and he's got like the thing on top. I'm like, man, when did Francis Stone learn how to dress? I mean, it's a good look. I couldn't pull it off, but it looks good.
That was why that was what this whole thing was about, just redesigning the heroes. Like they're not fashion forward enough.
No. Which, hey, I mean, Milestone heroes were pretty fashion forward back in the day. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Static, even when he was just like wearing a hat and other stuff, that was like, you know, pretty, you know, interesting at the time. And now you see a lot of heroes just doing that now.
Yeah.
Static is the one hero who wears a baseball cap and doesn't look stupid.
Yeah. It makes sense in his character.
Yeah, because he threw it together. But yeah, I'm interested about this. I don't know if I'm going to cover this on the channel if it's just the same book with extra pages.
I've still got that old review archive, so I'm just going to take that and put the new pages into it.
Yeah, lucky you. Yeah, lucky you. Yeah, it's funny. So we got the digital one that came out in September. We got another digital version that's going to be coming out at the end of this month, and then May you can actually pick up a physical version of this.
Yeah.
I wonder, is this how they're going to be doing Milestone in general? Will it be digital first, then print later, or when Milestone eventually comes out, God willing, and starts rolling?
That's kind of what I got from this announcement, is that it's going to be digital first. And I guess maybe that's probably because they saw how well all of their digital first stuff is selling. So they think if we put it there, it'll reach the maximum amount of people. You know, people won't complain that they can't get their hands on it, because they can.
Yeah. It's not a terrible idea. As we have said time and time again on this show, digital is the future. Mm-hmm. And if this is how they kind of want to experiment with it, where they're like, look, if Milestone does good in this format, in that it comes out digital, then only later comes out in physical, don't be shocked if it's a success if they start doing it for stuff like Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
At least with this, I guess they feel safer experimenting, because it's like, well, Milestone was nothing a while ago, so... And was nothing because they made it nothing. Yeah, and again, it took a lot of badgering for them to finally get it back. Yeah, I hope Milestone comics are somewhere I can read them, because, I want to know what's going on with hardware and Icon and Static and everything else.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do any reprints of the actual previous series, because they are apparently really hard to get.
Yes, some of those trades are impossible to find in completion. I know they said they were making everything available digitally for, like the sake of history and for the sake of like putting it all together. But I would hope they would. I would hope they would come out with like a nice Static omnibus. I imagine that would sell quite well, and I would buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think the way the trades are now, they just have like the first Static trade, then Rebirth of the Cool, which is like a huge gap in between. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love it if it all came back together. But yeah, there's your Milestone news, everyone. It is happening. I know it's had more stop-starts and more like, delays than just about anything else, but we swear to God it's actually happening.
Well, knock wood, There's still time for it to be postponed again.
This poor universe has had probably one of the most cursed, frickin' rollouts of anything.
It has. It's been pretty bad.
Between lawsuits and between, just everything.
Yeah.
Now frickin' viruses. Anything bad that can happen did happen to it. Fuck. What else do we got going on here? Dr. Doom will be joining the Guardians of the Galaxy soon.
Yeah, this was quite an interesting bit of news, because we're getting like the reveal of like all the 3 different teams that have been spun out of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Dr. Doom was revealed to be in the middle team.
Which I love that he makes no attempt to have his costume match everyone else.
Yeah, it's just Dr. Doom.
I am Doom, you will all dress like me.
I think that would have been such a good joke if they all have like the same that red and blue costume, but like Doom's team all dressed in green and silver.
For I demand it. I will fully admit I fell off Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy, not because it was bad. It was actually very good and very interesting. But I just couldn't keep it in my pile anymore.
Same.
And it feels like that he's been doing a lot of interesting shit. I know, I think it was Kurt, our friend, was telling us there that, he's expanding the team. It's basically the Guardians Legion now, and we can see the impact of everything else that's happened in Marvel space here in the Guardians team.
Yeah, I keep wanting to pick it back up, because I was really intrigued, because it's like, oh, fuck, Hercules is on the team now. They're fighting like the Olympians and all that. That's so cool. And then, I just got too many books on at once and just fell by the wayside.
So obviously this team, has people you would expect on the team: Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket Raccoon, some people from that last run like Marvel Boy, like Moondragon. But now we got some really interesting people in here. We got the Super Skrull.
Yeah, makes sense.
Who after the end of Empire, Emperor Hulkling was basically like, yeah, you're going to pay off your debt to society now. You're going to be a hero now, asshole, or else.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Billy Kaplan is also on the team again, getting that good WandaVision boost now that he's the court wizard of the Kree Skrull Empire. Mm-hmm. Love that he gets to be on a big space team, because you don't get a lot of mixture of like magic and space.
No, you don't.
Which is fun there. Hercules, as we mentioned before, not one, but 2 different versions of Quasar.
Yeah. This kind of makes sense as well, because I think they were dealing with that about the time I dropped off the book. I think so.
Right. In which I love someone remembers the fucking female version of Quasar that Nick Spencer invented for Secret Empire exists, and now she gets to be in things. Literally, I think me and our mutual friend Mitch are the only two people in the world who cared about her. It's like, but where is she, though? When's she gonna come back in something? She saved Earth with her Quasar powers. What the fuck? And, so just genuinely really cool looking team. I feel like I'm gonna have to sit down and do a story so far on all of this because this looks really awesome.
I think so as well. And like, okay, so we've got Doctor Doom. Do we know that it's actually Victor? Because it could always just be one of his Doom bots, like a reprogrammed
it very well
Doom
could.
bot.
And it wouldn't even be the first time they've done that bit.
No, exactly. That's why I think it might be. That's what it is.
Again, I've not been reading Christopher Cantwell's Doctor Doom book, but is he like more like a villain as we remember him to be, or is he like kind of like morally gray? Kind of
morally gray, because that series is basically like, oh, what if the West Wing had Victor Von Doom in it?
Which is a good pitch. Yeah. What does he want in space? Have they alluded to anything that he might want in space?
I don't know. I'm sure there's something he would want.
He's always after something.
Ultimate Nullifier, something Galactus's powers, and I don't know.
Yeah. There's always some bullshit out in space that he's after. Friggin', all the things he's gonna try and find. What is it? The rays that gave the friggin' Fantastic Four their power because reasons. I mean, that's out in space.
Yeah, Infinity Stones or something.
Way to bring back his mother.
Yep.
Because isn't there always something? But yeah, I mean, really, you can't ask for a better, hook for that, where it's like, okay, here's all your favorite cosmic characters, and also Doctor Doom is here too. All right, you got me, Al Ewing, you beautiful bastard there. And I mean, come on, he hasn't missed like a beat over in Immortal Hulk, and it looks like he's going to keep writing this where Immortal Hulk is actually going to be coming to an end soon.
Yeah, I think this is going to become his sort of main book there at Marvel.
And I know he was the cosmic guy. He did that Ultimates book everyone liked so much.
Yeah.
So it would definitely be cool to check this one out. So there's your Guardians of the Galaxy update, everyone. Now from there, another team making a big comeback. The Soldiers of Victory are getting a special alongside Stargirl.
Yeah, this is, I think, spinning into or out of her stuff in Infinite Frontier, and then spinning into her books and everything with Jeff Johns. And this is pretty cool.
And just a little bit of, hey, you did really well on television, so now you get a resurgence in the comics.
Yeah.
Right down to most of your team from the TV show coming back here, that being referenced. So we got Vigilante, we got Green Arrow and another thing. Thank fucking Christ.
Yeah, he's starting to appear in more things now.
Yeah, we got Sir Justin, the original Shining Knight. I'm thinking that's Emiko, Red Arrow. Is that who that is?
It looks like it, yeah.
I feel like I should know who the blind woman is, and then, of course, the big conceit of this story is, oh yeah, we're also going to reveal the secret 8th Soldier of Victory.
Ooh, wonder who that could be.
Could be anybody. It's Jeff Johns, so I'm sure it'll be a reference to something.
Yeah.
It'll be something. Maybe it'll be one of the other star peoples.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
Again, try and put it together for the television show. It's nice to see them get behind Stargirl, because I always thought she had a cool power set and a cool costume and a cool legacy and history, so to actually see her now get a push because the TV show is nice.
It is good. It's a long time coming.
It's the exact opposite of another thing. I didn't put this on the list, but I really should have. So that Wonder Girl show is actually getting scrapped at frickin' CW for some reason.
Yeah, well, apparently it was in the scripting phase, and I guess maybe the scripting phase wasn't very good.
I mean, what are you going to adapt? Because you have nothing to adapt, because
again, I think they realized it was too early. They're like, oh,
I guess
we don't have anything on this character. What do we do?
Yeah, they got ahead of themselves, like, in a way that you never thought before, because it's like they commissioned the comic because they were going to be making the TV show. The comic got really well received, but they scrapped the TV show, but there's still a chance if the comic keeps going strong, it can, renew, interest in the TV show if they were already going to make it once. Because they don't have, basically, a Wonder Woman, type character in the bigger CW universe, even though they have everyone fill in every other void.
It also begs the question, like, how bad was it for, like, the CW standards? Like, they couldn't get it to work in any of their, like, like five or two or three stories they have that they just copy and paste into each show.
I know. And again, I like those CW superhero shows. I will take up for them, but yeah, sometimes they're totally okay putting out some hot garbage.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, it's fine. What about vampires? Can we do something with vampires?
Is she a vampire or anything? No. She attend like a prestigious school? We could base a school drama? No.
I mean, maybe the only version of her we've seen is in the future. We don't actually know what her day-to-day life is like. Now, as the chat is saying, too, they picked up Naomi for a pilot, so hopefully we don't see Naomi getting scrapped, too. At least Naomi has a couple volumes of material. She's got at least a season of television.
And that show seems to have some big people behind it, like Ava DuVernay and everything. Like, I don't even know who was behind that Wonder Girl show. Like, I don't think they announced who was behind it or anything.
Maybe that's one of those situations where they fell in love with the idea before actually sitting down and be like, okay, episode 1.
Oh, there isn't really much on this character yet.
Yeah, because she's so new, we don't even know her origin story. We don't. We just kind of got plopped in on one of her adventures in Future Stands. Like, oh, this is fun. She's interesting. She's cool. Oh, but we don't know nothing about her.
Yeah.
And again, too, it's like, well, couldn't you have just gone to Jolie Jones, who seems to be doing all this? Can't you just ask her? And she's like, no, I'm writing it. I don't know yet. Damn. Is this the era we're in now of superheroes where everything gets adapted so much and we have such an arms race going on where it's like, no, we greenlight it even before you write it.
We greenlight it on, like, the name alone. Like, they just saw the name Wonder Girl. Oh, well, greenlight that.
She's young. She's from the Amazon. We love it. Let's do it. It's sad, as the chat is saying too, it's sad that show won't make it to television, but that live action Powerpuff Girls show they're working on probably will.
That's what really, like, surprises me about this. Like, the amount of, like, shit, like, hot garbage CW puts out, and they couldn't find something for this? Like, what?
You couldn't make anything happen with this?
Yeah.
And again, I was interested to see them do it, where it's like, okay, so we're going to have a situation here where a TV show and a comic based on the same thing are going to be running concurrently, like, and they can't possibly be talking to each other and doing the same thing.
Yeah. It would have been interesting to see how they went with it.
Very much so. It's like that bit in anime when it's like, oh no, we ran out of story, so we had to create filler, but we had to keep doing it.
2 seasons of beach filler, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd basically have 2 versions where it's like, well, what's the real version? What is the real Wonder Girl? I can't tell because they're both equally valid because they came out at the same time. Like, just theoretically, I'd be really fucking interested in that.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, what do we got after that there? Speaking of new team books, Doctor Strange is going to be forming up a brand new version of the Defenders this May.
Yeah, and this looks like to maybe start following up on some of the stuff that we got back in Marvel Comics issue 1000.
Yeah, remember the Masked Raider, everyone? Remember they kept saying he was going to be important and he was going to be solving a big mystery, and then nothing happened with him for like 2 years?
Yep.
Well, apparently someone remembers. We see, too, he's got, like, a whole bunch of tarot cards in front of him that could very well, allude to people who could be on the team. We've got, the original Valkyrie. We've got people who have been on the team before, like Namor and the Hulk. The one I found the most interesting was actually the Harpy.
Yeah.
Betty Ross, who, again, became the Harpy again in Immortal Hulk as part of, like, a big gross body horror storyline, because the whole thing is a big gross body horror storyline. She left the book like 2 arcs ago, and I'm like, oh, is she gonna come back? Because I assumed, she would be cured of her harpyism, but this seems to imply, no, Betty Ross as the Harpy is gonna continue on even after Immortal Hulk is done.
Yeah, well, they got something to tell with her, I guess, so yeah.
She's a good mix for the team.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that she reverted back to the old Harpy persona as kind of like the Harpy persona is here to protect me from the Hulk, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm getting also like kind of like big Justice League Dark vibes from this with like Harpy filling in the Man-Bat role and like Valkyrie's like the Wonder Woman and yeah.
I don't know if I'm a huge fan of like past Defenders runs, but I love the idea of Defenders existing as a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, again, like, whenever we're in an era when it's like, oh, we've got 3 different Avengers books. We've got West Coast Avengers, and we've got USA Avengers and everything. Like, one of these should have just been called Defenders.
It seems like the logical thing, but yeah, they never do that.
Yeah, it's like one of these should just be called Defenders. So I like the idea of let's take the weirder, less than AAA members of the Avengers team and let's, put them on Defenders. Mm-hmm. So I'm down for that, and I'll definitely have to check this one out.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. And if it's following that Masked Raider plot, then yeah, I'll give it a check out.
Yeah, because clearly they were all in on the Masked Raider for so long, and then they just weren't.
That and, was it Infinite Destinies and everything? That nothing ever happened with that. Although I think Infinite Destinies is now Heroes Reborn.
Yeah. Like, again, like we don't even know who the Masked Raider is. He just shows up and like, oh, I have this mask. It's made from a piece of eternity.
Yeah.
I am mysterious. Look at my hat. Apparently you're not as important as you think you are, Masked Raider. Also, when I say Masked Raider, I'm very close to saying Masked Rider from Kamen Rider.
At least you're not saying the Masked Raper.
Oh, I mean, if this guy wants to do big, cool anime kicks and ride a motorcycle around, that's also fine.
Yeah, go for it.
As we have seen from Duke in Future State, just give people big swords and stands and other anime powers.
It works.
And as we pitched for Champions, just give them giant robots, and that will also be fine. They came out with a Marvel mech book, like a special one-shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should read this, and then I'm like, I have too much to read.
Yeah, I was gonna read it, but I'm like, oh, it's like that goddamn. They did one recently as well, where it's basically like an ad for like a gacha game. And I'm like, I can't be bothered.
I hate that. Where it's like, damn it, you tricked me into reading a commercial. Fuck. All right, then. So that's all the traditional news for this week. I guess we can hop into what we read. And like I said at the top of the show, I read several fairly interesting books this week. Matt, where would you like to begin?
I did. Well, we had quite a few Future State books out this week.
We did a lot of finales for a lot of Future State books this week.
Well, I'm glad we're finally coming towards the end of it. It like gets rid of some of them off my plate.
Yeah, hopefully we can restructure for what we're going to be reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Where would you like to begin?
Well, let's begin with Future State Justice League issue 2.
Yes. Which I think, for only being 2 issues, stuck the landing about as well as you could.
Yeah, it did pretty well. Gave us a good idea of who this team is, like the layout of like the Justice League now or in the future, how the team operates and how it changes and everything. And I thought it was pretty good.
It is, no surprise for a book that brought back the Hyper Clan to be the villains. It was very Morrison-y in the way that it tackled character development, and that is, okay, so the Justice League are all strangers to each other in this future. They're stuck in a hellish alternate world, and the only way they can get out is by, like, actually talking to each other.
Yeah, actually being a team.
And learning from each other. And I'm like, this would also be like a good episode of the Justice League cartoon. This would be like a good 2-parter there, too.
Yeah. I really enjoyed all that. I enjoyed their bickering just because everyone on the team had good, like, reason to bicker with one another. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just bickering for the sake of bickering. I did think... it was just me, just because I built it up so much in my head. I did think there was a lost chance about one of the actual members of the Justice League being, like, a mole for the Hyper Clan, like the Flash,
turning out to be a real White Martian,
and or the other way around, where the Hyper Clan, a member of the Hyper Clan, betrays the Hyper Clan for the League and ends up joining the League at the
end. The team. Well, again, because it felt like they were going to go that way, because Protect,
he starts
the leader,
getting unhinged and crazy and whatnot.
Yeah, he's crazy. He wants to kill a bunch of people, but the rest of the Hyper Clan are like, actually, we're pretty cool just being, like, worshipped as celebrity superheroes. We could just, like, keep doing this. And I'm like, ooh, one of them's going to turn. But no,
kind of feels like if it was 3 issues, they would have gone there.
Yeah, that we could have gotten something like that there. I loved all the little character things they have there, where Superman is like, using my super hearing, I know that Jace hums under his breath when he fights.
His own fight music.
Like he's doing his own theme music. And what is it? Oh, Wonder Girl, she bites her lip when she's upset, and everyone's really upset right now. Okay, well, what about Aquawoman and New Flash? How do we know you're not White Martians? Trust us, we know. Oh, okay. Guess you both were a lot closer than we thought. Oh well. Guess we were all breaking the fraternization rule, weren't we? And they win the day, and they win it because they talk to each other and because, they know stuff about each other that they didn't before, so they're able to see through, the deception of the Hyper Clan. And again, it's all very well put together.
Yeah, they fulfill what John wants for the team, which is for them to be a family.
Which they did, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice ending to this story. And also in the back of my mind, you could have kept going with them not knowing each other, because that's a pretty interesting concept in and of its own.
Yeah, but I feel like you could have only done that for like an arc, because then it would wear pretty thin.
And it would get annoying, and then it would be like, okay, why isn't one of them going to investigate the other?
Yeah.
And same too with Superman. I could literally spy on you whenever I wanted, if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And Jo, the Far Sector Green Lantern, she gets picked to be, the chairman? Yeah, the new chairman of this Justice League. I'm like, oh, that's cool, because we've never had a Green Lantern be the leader of the team.
Oh, technically, John was in Snyder's. He was like the battle leader, though.
Yeah, true. And then, of course, it's like, oh, who else are we going to get on our team? And they, blow up the map. And it's like, oh, here's all these other people we could recruit for a sequel that may or may not end up happening.
Yeah, I think it will. I think we'll definitely get some more stuff for that later down the line.
I would really like to see more, too. Like, maybe even if it's just in that Future State Gotham book, like, I would happily read Future State Justice League if that ends up becoming a book.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's a cool team. It's a good makeup. I know Bendis is going to be doing his own thing with the Justice League, which honestly they really needed to be shaken up, and I'm glad someone did it.
Yeah.
But I think you could have 2 Justice League books. You could have a weird future Justice League book.
Yeah.
I mean, especially too if people are going to be the way they always are with Bendis and not even give him a chance.
No, because someone's posting out of context pages and making a big deal out of a joke.
Yeah, because to give them, like, an alternate one where it's like, look, if that bothers you, go read this one.
Yeah.
Then that's fine, and then we can all be happy, and then we can have 2 healthy books. Mm-hmm. So, But, there was the Future State Justice League. Good shit, I liked it.
Yeah, the Justice League Dark backup was pretty cool as well.
I skipped that one. Was it good?
Yeah, it was just a continuation of the... Did you read the first part of the first one?
I don't think I did. I think I read that one later in the week where I'm like, oh, I gotta get this done.
Yeah, no, it was just it was in the future. Merlin is like taken over magic and put a glamour over the earth so no one can see him doing all this nefarious stuff. But like people like Zatanna and all that are fighting him and trying to regain magic and whatnot. And it's mainly about Etrigan being the one person who can like stop him and everything, but he can't because the guy has Jason Blood kidnapped because Etrigan is no longer part of Jason Blood. He's part of Detective Chimp.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it's a story just about Etrigan learning that he can be his own man or his own demon. He doesn't need someone else there with him. And yeah, it's pretty cool. We got Dr. Fate being Doctor Strange, literally. Like he has lines saying, "This is the one fight we win, and I've seen hundreds." And yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think that story is actually continuing in Ram V's Justice League Dark's backups in the Justice League book.
Yeah, that's right, because he's taken over, or he has taken over.
Yeah, because it ends on like a cliffhanger of Dr. Fate becoming Merlin's like oracle, because he wants to use the helmet of fate to see the future and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Other big Future State book we had this week was, of course, Dark Detective 3.
Yes.
Where we actually get to see Bruce Wayne Batman meet with Jace Batman for the first time. And I personally loved their little interaction because I love that Jace doesn't give a shit about him at all.
I love that they just didn't get into a fist fight.
No. And again, it's like, yeah, of course Jace wouldn't care.
Yeah.
He knows they're both the good guys. The Magistrate are the bad guys. He's just like, hey, free warning. If you keep doing this, they're going to come after you, and I'm afraid they might kill you for real. And yeah, of course Jace would have no respect for Bruce. He wasn't a Robin. He didn't grow up with him. He doesn't know any of this other shit. Why should he? He's just another guy in a costume to him.
I don't even think he knows it's Bruce Wayne. I think he just thinks
it's just
another crazy guy in a costume.
Yeah, is all he thinks. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally how it would play out. He weirdly respects Nightwing more in the Nightwing book.
Yeah.
Because he knows of the work, Dick Grayson has been doing and everything. I'm like, I like that. I like that little dichotomy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. We get some more fun stuff with his conspiracy theorist neighbor, and man, his daughter gets the line of the fucking issue where she's like, yes, Dad, aliens are real, but there's only like a handful of them, and they're way too busy to care about what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we said that when we reviewed the second issue. We said, aliens exist, but they're not going to be looking after this, this man who's crazy talking about people water making frogs gay and
everything else. I love that, where it's like, yes, aliens are real, but they don't care about you. Which I think is the perfect way that if we ever find out aliens are real, yes, they're real, but you're still crazy. Martian Manhunter just sitting there drinking his coffee. No, I don't care what you're doing. Superman, busy, deal with you later. And again, the rest of this issue is just Batman, trying to crack a mystery about all these different companies that are supplying the Magistrate, a murder of a CEO, and he uses the word panopticon, which is a word that I never thought I would ever read in a Batman comic. But yeah, basically the Magistrate is setting up a huge spy network, which is bigger than any of their weapons and any of their other side hustle.
Yeah, and the consensus is they're killing off these CEOs to gain access to information and technology that they haven't put to market yet, like those little mini drones.
So basically it's Amazon. They're basically Jeff Bezos. These are our Alexas. We're spying on you at all times, gathering information, because information is power, and we'll sell that to Russian bot farms and everything else. Which is a hell of a thing, and also very scary and very topical.
It's very scary, and I like that Bruce is actually scared of that.
Yeah, as he should be, because again, it's like, hey, no one's going to be able to have a secret identity if this happens.
Yeah, and there's a nice little bit of visual poetry there, whereas last issue, Noah was beating up his computer for spying and sending gay signals into his head and whatnot, and then you got Bruce doing the exact same thing.
Yes, for all the same reasons. And again, too, this guy, I see conspiracy theories everywhere. Aliens are spying on me. No, the paramilitary group in your city is spying on you. Another nice touch about the Magistrate, and I see it across all these books, is that they never bother telling you, like, who's under the Peacekeeper mask, because it doesn't matter, because they're just an amorphous private military corporation. Who they are really doesn't matter. And
it doesn't matter anyway, just because, like, the amount of times they've been, like, killed or, like they change up, and, like, as we see in, I think it was that Arkham Knight's backup, where, like, one gets killed, and then I think the next week in Nightwing, then the news Peacekeeper 6 is there.
Yeah, they just replace them.
Yeah, they just don't care.
They just replace them. They are all expendable G.I. Joes on their game board.
Yeah. This Bruce story as well connects up nicely with the Catwoman one, in the first issue of Catwoman.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess it does.
Yeah, because like Bruce figures out they're going to come for him, and I guess they capture him, and then he's in that Catwoman book captured.
Yeah. Huh. There you go. Yeah, it's funny, they do tie up, but it's not like, you got to read this one, this one, and this one.
No, you don't have to read them, no.
Same with Spoiler in Robin Eternal, too. It's like, and she gets away, and she has other adventures, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did you read this week, Matt?
Let's have a look. I had Future State, Superman, Wonder Woman, issue 2.
Oh, yeah. How was this one treating you?
This was damn cool. So obviously, Kuat, the sun god, is racing Solaris, the tyrant sun, and it's playing havoc on the Earth and playing havoc with Superman's powers as well. So he's like,
what a golden age setup!
I know. Again, more Grant Morrison stuff. Grant. I love it. I love it all. Superman doesn't really have his powers all that much. He's very weakened, and we also learned that. He, on top of doing all of this, he's doing so much else for the Earth that you don't even see. One of these things is he's every day at 10:30 on the dot, he has to go into a black hole and re-unshrink a black hole so it saves a micro city on a planet, because their planet is being pulled into the black hole perpetually, and with him re-shrinking it, it basically stops that from happening, and he's got to keep doing it until he can find a way to actually get it to resize and be safe for good. So he keeps doing that every single day on top of all of the stuff he deals with on Earth, and it's running him down because he has a handicap, being he's half human, so he still needs to sleep and eat and rest and everything. So it's wearing him
Interesting.
down on top of people telling him he's got to be Superman. He's got to live up to his father's legacy and legend. So it's weighing him down, and now he's got to go and race Solaris and deal with Solaris. But so Yara decides to like take over some of his duties. So she'll take over the duties on the planet and deal with Solaris, while Superman goes and races Kuat around the solar system for the Earth's for basically the Earth, and like whoever wins, you know, the Earth is saved or the Earth is doomed, sort of thing. And yeah, he ends up winning. Superman ends up winning because Wonder Woman shrinks Solaris with the a black hole gun, turns him into a blue sun, which will give him his powers back because he's burning too hot, so he's not burning red sun energy anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And again, we get an allusion to an adventure that Yara goes on to the end of the universe, where the fates sent her to the end of the universe, and that's how she knew about blue suns and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that does sound
really,
like a good
really
mix
damn
of
cool.
stuff.
Really damn cool. And it was again like Yara and John just kind of like hanging out,
I like that.
Just hanging out, defeating villains. I liked that they swapped each other's villains. I think that was pretty cool. I like when comics do that, since it's always really interesting. And I hope we get to see more of that in Infinite Frontier. Hopefully, I hope we actually get like a Superman Wonder Woman book.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's a chance now.
Yeah, we got a Superman Batman book. Just bring back the Superman Wonder Woman book.
Why not? I'd check it out.
Yeah.
All right, what else did I have this week? Ooh, I had Amazing Spider-Man 59.
I'm behind by like 3 issues on this.
This one was surprisingly good in a way I was not expecting. I know a lot of people were dreading, like, oh no, they're bringing back Mr. Negative. They're going to forget about the Harry story and the Kindred stuff. They do not, actually. In fact, they marry it in a very interesting way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Nick Spencer has always been a very thematic writer, and this was a very thematic issue, talking about sin and forgiveness and, you know, moving on and meeting one's sins head on. And basically Spider-Man gets surprised when Martin Lee willingly gives himself up to the inner demons and his sins so they won't, you know, kill Aunt May and they won't destroy the Feast Shelter.
Okay.
And his idea being like, look, if I do this, I know at least one small piece of good that I've done will still survive and live on in you. And, you know, I can, you know, deal with, you know, getting pushed away by Mr. Negative. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And Peter sees that, and it makes him reevaluate everything he's been doing with the Osborns, and him basically being like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's like, oh, shit, if Martin Lee can run towards his problems and not away from it, I guess I should too.
Nice.
And I'm like, wow, that's really nice, and a good use of Mr. Negative that I was not expecting.
Yeah, kind of playing into that name as well a little bit.
Very much. Very, very much so. We also discover that Fisk gets, Mr. Negative off the hook and, you know, stops him from serving jail time because Mr. Negative has the Deathline tablet, the opposite of the Lifeline tablet that he was after.
Bringing all that back as well. Jesus Christ.
In a big way. And Negative's like, look, so I know you want to use it to resurrect your wife, but here's the thing. You got to have both tablets, negative and positive, balance the thing that, you know, I represent.
Yeah.
That's how it's got to work. And you can only use it once. It only works to bring back one person to life.
This is going to come back into the story.
God.
Someone's coming back to life. Who's coming back
to
life? It's not going to be Vanessa. It's going to be some other Spider-Man character.
Oh, yeah, this is just a massive, massive Chekhov's gun moment. I'm like, someone's using that. Someone's using that. I fucking know they are. And Kingpin's like, cool, you know, tell you what, I'll let you go for what you did this time at the Feast Shelter, but if you can get me the other tablet from Boomerang and Spider-Man, I'll basically, like, you know, give you a free pass from City Hall from now till forever.
Yeah, as Space Lord said, it's going to be Gwen Stacy because of how much they're building that up. Like, we had those Sal Buscema pages in issue 54 where they talked about Gwen Stacy's death, like, in detail and just keeps going on about the Gwen that's already there, a Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. It's got to be tied to something from One More Day. It's got to be some shit like that,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And basically, Fist is like, okay, go get the tablet back for me, but know that this is a competition. And then he opens the door, and you see like every other New York gang lord, from Tombstone to frickin' Hammerhead to Silvio Manfredi and Crime Master and Black Mariah. Yeah, they're all going for it too.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, whoever gets it gets like a golden ticket from City Hall.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very cool. And in fact, I think the next arc is going to be Tombstone, Beetle, and Robbie Robertson related. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We haven't seen that rivalry in 30 years. So I'm very excited about that. Spider-Man continues to be very good right now.
It does, yeah. Nick Spencer's doing real wonders on that book.
Real hit his stride. I'm definitely more interested in picking up the book now than I was for a bit there when it was kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
I think Captain Kun is onto something too. There is a One More Day Harry. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking it's got to be they're going to bring back Harry, and that's somehow going to cancel out Kindred.
Or something like that, where it's like, look, if we bring you back now, then we'll undo all the suffering you had in hell. Also, too, there was that other body that they found in the crypt, and we haven't gone back to that yet. Who's the other body?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't know yet. But yeah, that was Spider-Man. Spider-Man is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
What else did you have, Matt?
Let's have a look here. I had... where is it? Oh, I had Sword issue 3.
Oh, right. See, I didn't keep up with Sword because I was reading X-Force, but yeah, tell me what's going on in Sword.
So despite this being a King in Black Tie-in, it's actually a very personal, I guess, story, or it's a very contained story on Manifold.
Oh.
We get to see what he's up to, and and it takes place just as the team heads off to New York and to deal with the mutants down on Krakoa and New York. He goes back home to Australia to talk with his uncles and stuff, see if they're okay and everything, and they're kind of hesitant and suspicious about Krakoa and everything because they're you be careful, Krakoa, just because of what happened with the Avengers, and they're referencing Secret Wars and what Manifold did with the incursions and everything, and how he killed a lot of people.
Right, that was the story he was created for, yeah?
I believe so, yeah, where they made him forget his memories, and he ended up killing a bunch of people in the second incursions.
Oops.
Yeah, so yeah, they end up doing that, but he also has some ulterior motives where he's got a sort of journey planned. He's got to go and visit the... Oh, what's the race called? They're like a race of lizard people that are partaking in the Snark War, which was hinted at the end of Empire. And he visits them, and their whole deal is that they can actually take other races' powers and use them for themselves, and that's what they've been doing in this war to win against their enemies. So what Manifold's been sent to do is he's been sent to basically offer them up living weapons in the form of mutants, and basically sell them to these lizard people.
Fuck.
They'll take the powers, and then the whole deal is that when you take their powers, it's possible that the person you're taking the powers from will die. And Manifold's I hope they do die. They're hoping this will happen, but he doesn't tell the prince why. Of course, we know because the mutants are born back on Krakoa, so he's basically, stiffing them, basically.
Wow, so they're fucking this alien race. Holy shit, this is so many levels of uncomfortable.
But here's the thing. This alien race, the prince, he talks about a planet that his sister was going to conquer that was mineral rich, but his sister arrived too late, and Null had already conquered it, but she still went ahead with it, and in doing so, she lost all her army, and in that happening, it means that the prince just lost his one and only opponent in the bid for the royal throne and everything. So Null helped him out, indirectly helped him out and get rid of his opponents. So why does he want to destroy Null? So he's not going to help the mutants, and he doesn't want any of their powers or anything. He's going to just let Null destroy the universe, and then he's going to pick up the pieces after.
Man, it is really interesting to see where the X-Men fall in this first big Marvel event post-Krakoa, and like how their loyalties are all over the place and everything.
It's great.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of intrigue. As Space Lord brings up in the chat, oh yeah, there's also a new X-Corp book by Teenie Howard coming out. They had announced that one before, but it kind of went silent, but it is officially coming out now.
Yeah, I'm glad. I like X-Corp and the stuff we've had teased of it.
Yeah, I mean, that Empire tie-in was basically a backdoor pilot for X-Corp.
Yeah.
Angel wears a suit. Which, man, I bet that's got to be really expensive to get a suit tailored for your big-ass wings. Yeah. He's already rich, Warring Worthington III. He's good.
Yeah. So Manifold takes his leave from there and ends up on the Alpha Flight station, where he overhears Henry Gyrich of Alpha Flight talking with someone from Orchis. And we find out that Henry's now working for Orchis, and they've got some big fucking plan waiting in the wings in the aftermath of Null, just because they're worried about, like, well, if Null's destroying all these, like, planets and Earth and everything, what's going to be left after that? And he bets it's going to just be mutants. So he's looking to take down the mutants before they can do that.
Oh, Ewing, you tricky boy, because you set up Gyrich as the leader of Alpha Flight in Immortal Hulk, and now you bring him in here in this sword book.
Yep.
And I bet all this, intrigue in space will also boil over to what's happening in his Guardians book, too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all a tapestry with that guy, Ewing. It's all connected.
Yep.
God damn, that feels rewarding to know all these stories are connected.
It was so cool. It's so good to see all this happen. And then Manifold heads back to the Sword Station, learns that the team's in trouble and goes to help them, but he finds that symbiote Cable, which appeared last issue, Cable got attacked by a symbiote and is symbiote Cable now. He's kidnapped the rest of the team, rest of the X-Men on Krakoa, and is holding them in stasis pods, ready to be symbioteized themselves.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I might have to check up in on that one too.
So 3 issues, so yeah, it's easy to catch up.
True enough. Similarly, X-Force from this week was also a very personal story of one character, in this case, Quentin Quire.
Yeah?
Yes, it was. It was all about him. It's him basically coming to terms with what we as the reader have known for a long time, and that is, hey, you die on every mission. And he's like, actually, it's so much worse. Not only have I died on every mission you've seen, I've died on every mission you haven't seen as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've died like over 20 times. And it gets to the point where he has to stop and think. It's like, what is it about me? Do I have some sort of weirdo death wish? Why does this happen? Do I secretly crave rebirth, to be reborn? Is there something about my life that I have to change? And eventually his girlfriend Phoebe's like, well, how about we start with changing your costume then? And yeah, he gets a brand new costume.
Oh, nice.
It's good. It looks very Nightwing. It's all solid black, but with a pink Omega symbol and pink stuff around like the gauntlets and the legs. It's a cool suit, and also he has glasses too, but they're made of pure energy now.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, yeah, because I've died so many times too, I keep making requests to the Five for my resurrection, and they're getting really pissed off because I'm a member of X-Force and I get jumped to the front of the line every time I die. And he's asking for like stupid shit where it's like, hey, can I have toenails that don't grow anymore? That'd be nice. I really hate cutting them. It's just like a real evolutionary problem. Also, too, I love my hair and beard where it is. Can you make it so like my hair doesn't grow any more than that? That'd be great.
Oh, God.
And then they black out a couple there. It's like, also, can you add a couple more inches on? Blacked out. But then the extra funny joke on top of that is like, I can't believe we have to actually go ahead with all of these. So they actually did. God, just Quentin Quire just totally abusing the resurrection protocol.
As he would.
And of course, they tie this into a bigger plot with Zeno, that like a cruise ship got attacked and everyone said it was mutants, but really they had just their minds fucked with psychically to make them think they're mutants. And they're like, hey, this energy signature is exactly like yours, Quentin. And he's like, well, I don't remember doing it, but I've died so often I'm afraid to admit there's huge gaps in my memory now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Then again, like, Zeno kidnapped him too, so I think they've built like a clone of him, like they built a clone of Domino.
Yeah.
But yeah, X-Force continues to be fun. This was a fun and funny issue.
Awesome.
And also opens the door for more like X-Chimera and shit if they just keep making, requests when they get resurrected.
Again, that's probably how, like, one of the many like ways how they make them.
Yeah. I wonder what specifications would I have there. Yeah, hey, can I take off a couple pounds? Thanks. Can you put a little more muscle in there? Thanks. Can you fix my crippling imposter syndrome? Thanks.
Oh, we can't fix that. Don't have the right materials. It's impossible.
Look, we're playing God, but we're not miracle workers, dude. Seriously. I'm sorry. Can you make it so I don't say dumb shit into a mic? I mean, we can stitch your mouth up. Oh. Nah, don't do that. Can I have, like, 2 extra stomachs? I want to win a bunch of eating competitions. So you want us to make you into a cow is what you're saying?
Like,
I mean,
really,
you can do that, right?
It's like, really, you could have asked for anything. You could have asked for, like part of your brain chemistry to be wired towards, like, finance and, like, the market.
Yeah, really.
But no, you want some extra stomachs and just to go win it, like random, like, podunk town, like, eating contest. You want to eat, like, all of the butter sticks before fucking this other guy or something.
Look, I just love man versus food is all I'm saying. Yeah, that's the thing, too. Yeah, can you rewire my brain so I'm good at math? Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to be good at math just once.
I mean,
until you die again.
And all of this also begs the question: is like, okay, so if they can do that, is like people coming in and like editing, like what mutants are like getting what?
Yeah, what else are they editing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else are they doing? Well, I guess we'll find out if that Children of X book ever comes out. What else did you have, Matt? I had 2 more.
I had 2 more as well. I had, where is it? I had Darth Vader issue 10.
Oh, yeah, this looked interesting. The cover on this looked really good.
Yeah, Vader continues his journey towards Exogol.
I know that place.
Yeah, from Rise of Skywalker. And he actually ends up arriving at the nebula that surrounds the planet. With
that red thing
with Ochi of Bestoon, and he ends up fighting a giant tentacle monster in space that
you posted that
rapes your mind and
oh no
and shit. And he's cornered between the monster and like a fleet of Star Destroyers with Sly Moore trying to like kill him because they're trying to kill Vader and basically spur him to return to the dark side proper. So he ends up going through the Maw, and it ends up like fucking with his mind, and he sees like again Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting and him fighting his son, and then he sees like a possible future where his son killed him on Bespin and joins the Emperor and everything. And yeah, they sped out on the other side and actually arrive on Exogol, and then Vader's got to fight the monster on the ground, and he ends up using the Force, which he wasn't allowed to do. He wasn't allowed to use the Force during any of this, otherwise the Emperor would kill him. And he has a great line from that. He's like, lots of people have said that, but no one's actually ever done it.
That is pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, and he ends up Force controlling this creature and riding it towards the Emperor's that citadel he had in Rise of Skywalker.
I saw that. That's pretty fucking dope, actually, right there. More of that, please.
Yeah, it's so damn cool. Good giant monsters in space doing cosmic horror stuff. That's so cool. Why isn't Star Wars more of that stuff?
I know, right? I mean, come on. What was everyone's favorite Mandalorian episode when they fought the fucking Krayt Dragon? That's what they need. More giant space squids.
Yeah.
More gross monsters. More bull gullets.
Yes.
For your brain juice. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I keep saying one of these days I gotta read these Star Wars comics because you talk them up so well.
They're so good. They're really good.
Yeah. Despite what people might tell you.
Yeah.
I had Daredevil this week, which was yet another King in Black tie-in, but a good King in Black tie-in.
Nice.
So at the end of the last issue, Daredevil got taken over by one of the symbiotes while in prison.
Yep.
But against all odds, Matt is actually able to regain control over himself, which actually freaks Null the fuck out.
Okay.
He's like, really? You can control your mind? Wow, there's maybe been like a handful of people across the universe who have actually been able to spurn my control. And you know what they had in common, Mr. Murdoch? They were either religious zealots or fucking crazy. Which one are you?
I am both.
Yeah, little from column A, little of column B. It's a beautiful piece of writing, too, because Typhoid Mary can also regain control of herself to fight Elektra. And it's like, oh, because she's crazy, too.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
In fact, they even have a thing there where it's like, oh yeah, Null was no match for all the other voices in her head. This is just another day at the office for Typhoid Mary. oh, you're a voice in my head telling me to kill? No, really? Welcome to the club, ma'am. But yeah, so Daredevil protects the prison of all the guards and all the criminals, and there's a moment where he actually has a chance to leave, but he doesn't do it, and not doing it actually kind of gains him the respect of at least, one of the inmates, where it's like, oh yeah, you had the chance to go, but you actually stayed to help people. I guess you are a hero after all. And eventually he gets the symbiote off him by sitting in the electric chair and turning it on.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
It's fucking metal, and like, no, they cast him as the devil. It's like, join me and you will be forever young and forever powerful and we will rule the world together, or you can spend eternity in this prison. And, Matt says there in a great line of Catholic guilt where it's like, eternity means nothing, to the man with faith, and then pulls the lever on him there. And I'm like, wow, Matt literally Catholic guilted this giant evil space monster into submission. And it fucking worked. Holy shit.
Never underestimate a Catholic and their guilt.
Never underestimate. It's too powerful. It's kryptonite. You just can't stop it. Elektra similarly wins the day in very creative fashion, where she's like, oh, if I keep fighting like Daredevil, I'm going to get killed because I'm not good at it. And crazy Typhoid Mary is much stronger than me. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play dead because I'm a ninja and I know how to slow my heart down to make it seem like I'm dead. And then Typhoid Mary fucks off, and Elektra's like, well, that wasn't a clean win, but now I can actually go save more people and help out, as I assume Matt would do. And I just love that thinking where it's like, yeah, it's not always a clean win, but sometimes you can just do that.
Yeah.
It's great to, her size also have, like, rope and stuff in them.
Oh, nice.
And they're whittled down, too, so they're not lethal anymore.
Yeah, cool.
Very, very fun artistic touches. But yeah, that was Daredevil, and Daredevil continues to be great. It's so good, even the tie-ins are good.
Cool. I got to catch up on that. I fell off that book, but it's just so good.
One of the best things on the shelf right now, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
What else did you have, Matt?
The last book I had was Radiant Black issue 1.
Hey, you read Radiant Black too. Fucking sweet. What'd you think?
I thought it was great.
I know. Feels fresh and new, yet also familiar.
It does, mainly because it's like a classic superhero origin, and like the hero Nathan Burnett felt a lot like I compared it to like Kyle Rayner and like Peter Parker and stuff like that. Whereas given these powers, doesn't know what the hell to do with them. There's no guidebook, and has to sort of make their own way.
And I mean, just like as a young creative too, so much of his story just spoke to me way more than I almost care to admit. He's driving Uber, he's crying because the bank denied him another thing there. He's got to move back home with his parents, which is the actual real town Kyle Higgins is from.
Yeah, I was going to say, all of this feels like it's coming from a place Kyle Higgins has been.
Oh yeah, this shit is like ridiculously real.
Yeah.
And like it's real to him and it's real to everyone else because we've all been there.
Yeah.
And even his friend Marshall, his like small town friend, who's like, oh, the town's, it's really opened back up again since you're gone. It's really going places, man. I have been that guy, and I know that guy, so I hate that guy.
I also like how they've set that guy up as, I don't think he's going to be a villain. I think he's going to be more of like a foil, because he like the way he talks about like when Nathan gets the powers and stuff, he talks about how they are going to use the powers and how they are going to use them to do all this sort of stuff. He's very he's totally that guy. He's got a controlling streak, and also when he gets drunk, he's like, he's very resentful that his friend left him for LA. It's like, oh, we were supposed to write our stories together and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, that's that guy. Maybe he won't be Sinestro, but he might be Harry Osborn. Yeah.
in the you're my friend, but you're also an asshole, but like I care about you and I gotta try and save you and everything. Yeah, really, really well put together origin story. You learn everything you need to know about him right away. And as we found out this week from Art, the Power Rangers references continue. It's not just that he has a cool biker helmet. He's going to get a big robot, too.
So it's ticking all those boxes for me.
He's going to get a big robot, which is totally super, super freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Which, that reminds me too. Shit, yeah, I got a second copy of that book that I got to actually give away. Actually, the first person I gave it to never actually claimed theirs.
Okay.
But I'm still going to count that as one. So, yeah, we need a good Kyle Higgins trivia question for the second one. Ooh, I got one. In that Winter Soldier book that he did that I love so much, it was only 1 volume long. Winter Soldier basically adopts a new young sidekick of his own. What was the name of that character? So if you can tell me that, first one to tell me in the comment section when this goes up to the YouTube channel Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, letting you know, you will win the second giveaway code, and it's for Comixology, I discovered.
Awesome.
But yeah, Radiant Black is super cool. I'm glad you got a chance to read it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to stick with it. Like, big robots, it's like Power Rangers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Power Rangers meets Spider-Man. Everyone seems to be super stoked on it too. Like I haven't seen a new indie book get so much love.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, it's something very easy to read. It's not like a lot of like I kind of like noticed like while reading, I'm like, this is like so simple. It's like such a simple origin stuff. Whereas like you see a lot of the creator stuff, it's always high concept, like stuff they'd never be allowed to do at DC or Marvel and stuff. It's always a big complicated plot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whereas this is just simple.
Now, what do you think of the rumor going on there that this is actually going to be the beginning of a big new shared image hero universe because the Savage Dragon shows up on one of the TVs in the restaurant?
Really? I didn't even mention that, but yeah, oh my god, if this is like the beginning of a new universe, that's pretty cool.
Because the rumor is that so many big DC and other superhero writers have left to go do stuff at Image right now, like James Tynion, like Scott Snyder, like all these other people. And the big prevailing theory is that all of these things may actually be tied together, which makes me even more interested to check out that new thing that, Snyder has coming out soon.
I don't think Nocterra is tied into it. I'll let you know, though, because I've got my backer copy coming very soon.
Ooh, okay, yeah, because I knew they gave backer copies. I'm like, I'd like to read that. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, it's tied behind a Kickstarter. Yeah, you're right. It probably isn't tied in because it's a Kickstarter.
Yeah, and the like general like premise of it is like post-apocalyptic stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and crazy.
I mean, they could. If anyone could tie it in, it would be Scott Snyder.
And again, too, Snyder, Tynion, Higgins, all these other people, they worked together at DC in the beginning of the New 52. So if this is like their thing where they're like, hey, let's be the new Image class, let's be the new guys to try and give the superhero folks a run for their money.
Yeah.
That would be pretty dope.
That would be pretty cool.
I would think that's awesome. And I even asked Higgins in the interview I had with him, like, so does that mean anything that Savage Dragon was on the TV? Are we gonna see anything? And he's like, man, that'd be cool. I guess you all need to keep reading. He said neither one way or another, but it was one of those things that makes me think that yeah, you should definitely keep reading. But yeah, that's great that you got to read that one. Yeah, we'll probably keep talking about that book now that it's entered our pull list.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the last book I read this week was Future State Teen Titans 2.
I've read most of this. I haven't read it all. I still like reading it.
It's a bit of a mess. It's a bit all over the goddamn place. Again, talk about another series that had about 4 issues worth of material that they decided to compress into 2. Mm-hmm. Again, so we got to defeat the Riders. We gotta plant seeds for stuff that's probably gonna come up later, like why is Dick wearing the Deathstroke mask out of nowhere now? And hey, did you read that Shazam book? You should, because, you know, his situation and the Rock of Eternity and everything is actually important.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about all these Magic-based books. They're all tied together.
Yes, if nothing else, that is certainly nice. And I bet if I read all of them, I would feel taken care of.
It was cool. It was cool seeing the ending of this book feature Shazam, because you don't know in his Shazam book, you don't know what he sealed in to the Rock of Eternity, and now we do know.
Right. Yeah, and see, I only knew because you told me is the thing, and I'm glad you told me, or I would have been lost.
Yeah.
Also, we find out Red X may not have actually been guilty of the crime of what he did. Well, he definitely took everyone hostage because of a dark secret that is still never answered, because they probably want you to read the main book to figure out what that's about. But he didn't actually make the Dial H for Hero phone explode. The other students did that because they were fucking around with it on Halloween, trying to turn it into like a Ouija board.
Yeah, Brat Girl turned it into a Ouija board despite Miguel telling them not to, and it ended up with them destroying the world, basically.
Yeah, and him getting killed. They don't say that the 4 riders came out of the phone, but I'm guessing they came out of the phone.
Well, yeah, they mentioned that they modified it somehow. I'm not sure. They were kind of fast and loose on how they modified the H dial, but
boy,
yeah,
were they.
I have to imagine it was, yes, it tapped into something else that it wasn't meant to tap. It didn't tap into the Heroverse.
So Red X seemingly did nothing wrong, but took the blame, and those students don't get, punished for what they did. But Red X also still tries to heroically sacrifice himself and takes off his mask, but we never see who's under it, and I wonder, will we ever find out, or is that just going to be the joke that you never know who's under the mask?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it maybe being one of those things where it doesn't matter who's under the mask. It's the legend of the Red X sort of thing.
Yeah. We kind of do like the Phantom.
Yeah, or it could, as I said before, it could just be Roy Harper.
It could just be that, who knows. And eventually he uses the phone to like reenact one of the scenes from the third Lord of the Rings movie where it's like, the ghosts have come to help us.
Yeah, well, the ghosts of all the Titans except for Roy Harper come back,
except for Roy.
Help defeat the help drive the 4 riders into Raven,
who also sacrificed herself. Just everybody sacrificing themselves all over the place. And now, assumingly, she will have to live at the Rock of Eternity forever because she's got the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse in her. But that's okay, because the book's over and Future State's over. So, yeah, little all over the place.
Yeah, again, as you said, it needed, like, one more issue, maybe, just to sort of flesh everything out. But then again, as well, you could see that they were hinting at stuff that's going to be explained in that Titans Academy book.
Definitely. Like, I as messy as it was, I'm like, look, I know you're planting seeds because you're probably going to answer this.
Yeah, they're gonna answer those questions, which I'm glad about. They just didn't leave them hanging.
There was a pretty good joke in there too, where it's like, hey,
yeah, I know the joke you're talking about.
why are you wearing Deathstroke's mask? What are we supposed to call you, Deathwing? I'm certainly not calling you Dickstroke. Which, man, that's like something Garth Ennis would come up with. Oh no, everyone, it's Dickstroke. Watch out. But yeah, little messy. Little messy of a finale.
Yeah.
Again, maybe not the messiest. I still think that Superboy of Metropolis one may have been the most messy of the finales we've seen so far. Mm-hmm. Still one more week, though, so let's see who can make it really messy. I hope that Suicide Squad book, sticks the landing.
Yeah, well, again, I think that's another book that's feeding into, like, what it's going to be doing in Suicide Squad. So I imagine there's going to be even more Easter egg drops for that book.
Because it's literally the team. It's literally the team we're going to be following.
Yeah.
With Peacemaker, who's a AAA team leader character now.
Yeah, all thanks to John Cena and James Gunn.
John Cena, just a magical man. You can't see him, but you can see the Peacemaker in this comic book. Is what you can see. But yeah, so that was everything I read this week.
Yeah, that's everything I've read so far.
Yeah, so we got one more week of Future State coming up. That should be interesting.
Yeah, and then we go straight into Infinite Frontier.
Yeah, Infinite Frontier is starting all over, and I'm sure to follow suit, Marvel will also have some new stuff eventually, too.
Well, I guess Heroes Reborn will probably be the best chance they have at reset, like their first proper reset in a while.
Yeah, if they're fucking around with the universe and everything, Heroes Reborn would be their opportunity to be like, hey, and we turned everything back, but also this, and this are different.
Yeah.
Because why not? I guess we'll start bringing the show to a close, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and watching us. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. I know it won't be Valentine's Day when we upload this on Wednesday, but I promise it was Valentine's Day night when we recorded this. Anything you got to pitch, Matt? Anything you want people to know about?
Not really, no. I'm just going to continue on with my reviews and stuff. I got a big backlog coming up, so yeah, I'm going to get rid of all through them before, hopefully before Infinite Frontier hits.
Yeah. I'm hoping I should stream again on Tuesday. Because, again, Elseworlds Exchange has gone every other Tuesday now. Again, keeping with this Radiant Black Tokusetsai theme there, I should do old Power Rangers toy commercials. Lord knows there's enough.
That'd be cool.
I think I might do that so I don't have to fuck around with, video games and chat windows and everything. That's easy enough. I just got to press play and hope for the best. So, yeah, everyone check that out around Tuesday, around the time we would normally go with Elseworld, because I'm probably going to try and give that a chance at some point. And, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening, and everyone. As always, this is a lot of fun. We'll be back again next week with more show just for you.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.